a good day.
It was a good day. It was cool. It was neat that all the journalism students in the district got to hear from professional journalists all day, and they were like in a classroom where they could ask specific questions. So it was a neat day. It was good. Are you ready? Stop calling it kettle black, isn't it?
What? That's Ellie. I hear you.
You've never heard this before?
I didn't hear what you said.
You said weirdo, and I said that's the pot calling the kettle black. It used to be that all cookware was made out of cast iron, which is black, and the pot was black, and the kettle was black. And
You have to explain it.
I know, it loses its power, right?
Oh!
You're weird too.
Damn.
You're right, though. It's not funny when you have to explain it. You guys really need to, like, amp up your...
I'm sorry, it's like 20
What?
seconds.
You guys ready? Here's the headline. Advice Teen Angst? Nah. By Ned Denis. So it's an advice column about whether or not there is such a thing as teen angst. I'm a teenager, my life is so hard.
Oh,
Okay.
It is hard.
So, now remember, this is a teenager writing to teens, right? So he's writing to even people who just turned 13. Okay, so you turn 13 and suddenly you feel as if you're in Death Valley. You come home from school and Oprah is on, talking about America's youth in crisis. Your parents assail you after dinner with anti-drug literature, asking you what you've been experimenting with lately. And from every corner, school, home, church, you're being told, be careful, these are 4 of the most important years of your life. Well, relax. I've been there, and let me tell you, your teen years aren't that important at all. The important years come when you want them to. Ray Kroc was a 2-bit, middle-aged milkshake machine salesman when he founded a little company called McDonald's. His most important years started right there. As for me, I'm a junior at Stuyvesant High School in Manhattan. Although I'm still in the thick of my teenage years, I think I've learned a thing or two by now. And as far as I can tell, being a teenager is just like being a kid, except that you've got 5 extra niggling concerns. Sex, money, smoking, drinking, and getting into college. First things first.
They're taking your thing, Joseph, they're taking your thing, but... I don't know, didn't you hear?
Niggling?
Oh, you said.
Like irritating. And Taylor 5. First things first, sex. You already know all about sex, at least the mechanics of it, so I'll spare the birds and bees stuff. The most important thing to remember about teenage sex is that television is not a study guide. You get the idea that everyone over the age of 11 has a steady boyfriend or girlfriend, and that sort of love triangle sex kicks in by age 15. The reality is far less lurid, I promise. Your friends are an equally unreliable study guide. Starting at 12, their bragging begins. I did blah, blah, blah with so-and-so. And as a general rule, taking everything your friends tell you about sexual experience, cut it in half. Then you'll have a more accurate picture of what's really going on. As for dating, here are some tips. Boys, join a rock band, or a sports team, or anything. What girls are really attracted to is affiliation. Bucking up your brooding skills, and don't talk too much. Never underestimate the repellent power of dandruff. When you find out a girl has a crush on you, act fast. It'll last about 2 weeks at the most. Girls, you'll never be rejected if you ask a guy out. He'll be so dumbfounded or thrilled that he'll just shut up and nod. Another thing, those quizzes in the girls' magazines are totally useless. And glitter makes you look messy, not cute. Despite what I've just said, however, don't sweat the small stuff. Romance will eventually come your way. No matter how dorky you are, you'll most likely get your first kiss in the next 4 years if you haven't already. Other people's mouths will taste strange at first, but you'll get used to them. You'll go for a nice walk in the park. You'll fall deeply in love. You'll
Time to
do
go
all the
home
cute
and
stuff.
Netflix too.
It'll be fun. Next up, money. Let's see. You're probably living rent-free with free food and free clothes. In addition,
No one wants to see that. Chill.
you can earn extra cash by, say, working part-time in a store. The next 4 years could be pretty profitable. Question is, how will you use your earnings? Most likely you'll wake up Saturday morning thinking you've been robbed, but soon realize you've spent the week's money on the silly scraps of teenage life. School supplies, movies, haircuts, t-shirts, why waste it? As weak as it sounds, I say save your money. Wait until you can afford something really cool, then indulge. The $50 mini backpack can wait. Okay, that's like... Mini backpack? Yeah, just ignore that. That's a old thing. Okay. Now we get the naughty stuff. In the next 4 years, you'll inevitably meet up with cigarettes and marijuana. You already know what smoking's like. Haven't you ever been stuck with a puffing relative at a family funeral? Smoking a cigarette yourself is similar. It tastes nasty and burns your throat. As for pot, it shares smoking characteristics with one extra benefit. It makes you act really dumb. But you've been told that all before. All teenagers have. Yet somehow they all end up at a party where somebody offers them a joint. And they have
Talking
nothing
about
to
it.
say, but sure. Well, here's what you say. Now, I already tried that stuff once. It really messed me up. Proceed to tell a ridiculous anecdote about the time you tried that stuff. If the story's funny enough to get everybody laughing, you'll slip out of the situation. Alternatively, simply shake your head, act uninterested, and get into a conversation with somebody else. The quick, silent rebuttal is devastating. Drinking is also a tricky issue. From an early age, you've seen the ads that promise that the moment you crack open a beer, football players will magically pop up on your front porch with bikini-clad girlfriends in tow. Real teen drinking scenes are far less glamorous, I'm sad to say. We're talking glassy-eyed partygoers slouched on couches. But there's an easy way to handle parties without getting stinking drunk. Take a drink, anything, whatever they give you, and walk around pretending to sip it. You'll need a plastic cup for this trick to work. A glass will give you away. After an hour, discreetly put the drinks down on the table. Nobody will notice the sleight of hand, and it'll be entertaining to watch the inebriation, real or pretend, of others. Finally, you've got to contend with college. Now, you already know what school is like. You come in, you keep quiet, you don't break anything, you leave. Now, high school is the same, except that on the horizon, looming over you are these monstrosities, the SATs, the ACT, college interviews. A word of advice, don't stress too much about college. To be sure, you can learn a lot at university. At the same time, plenty of successful people like Thomas Edison, Bill Gates, and even my grandfather never went or dropped out as soon as possible. At a high-pressure school like mine, teachers push the idea that your college will absolutely determine your future, that nothing is set in stone. If you want to go, go, but don't freak out about it. The media present adolescence as hell on earth, chock full of evil cliques. The cliques in grade school are worse. Domineering parents and wrenching decisions that will determine the rest of your life. Nah. Adolescence is a time to sit back, make some friends, and maybe discover what you're good at. Don't believe the hype.
Article, not a story.
So, raise your hand and tell me if you think that most of it is accurate, do you think that it's inaccurate. We'll start with you, Duke.
Oh, I thought we were raising our hand.
Oh, you just...
Yeah.
Which, though? Because I said both.
I think it's accurate, low key.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Anybody have a comment?
Joseph, tell him about the story.
Yes. It's not accurate?
Oh, no, never mind.
It's not inaccurate.
So, inaccurate.
It's inaccurate, which means it's not accurate. Okay, so tell me what you don't think is accurate.
Don't burn yourself now.
Too late for that.
Goals, learning.
Be nice. What do you think is wrong?
What?
What does he say that you don't agree with?
Oh, now people aren't always like passing joints. No, they're selling them. That's why.
I would say that his experience, at least in terms of drugs and alcohol, may be different from yours, because if he's going to school in Manhattan, he's going to school where there's a lot of money. And so there might be less of an issue of like making money off that kind of stuff. It might be accurate. I don't know. I mean,
How do you know about that, Miss White?
I am working off of common sense.
That's a little bit too much common sense.
Thank you. Austin, did you want to say something?
Yeah, like I've always been reading about that, about like, oh, how do I avoid, like, how do I say no and still be cool and stuff, like, just honestly, no, like, people said like, oh no, like, stuff like that, like, just say, like, no dude, I'm going home later, and like, my parents are still awake, so I don't want to go home like that, like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
You don't have to be cool and say, oh no, man, I already tried that.
Drugs are bad.
Your parents don't get it.
That's me, I agree with that.
Joseph the drug. Joseph the
So here's a question that I want to pose for you before we jump into the crucible.
Ah,
Okay,
no,
so
yeah,
Austin
relax.
made an interesting point. He said you don't really have to like come up with a big story, or you can just say no, I'm going home later, and my parents are there, right? Okay, well why can't you just say no, I'm not into it?
You could. You made it so complicated.
Anthony.
Well, I just actually like. I just say no because I promised my mom I wouldn't do that stuff. And they say alright.
Hey.
You have to do a girl on each arm after that, I bet. You're like, you're like. Okay. Yeah, so, now I will tell you, I didn't tell you at the beginning, and the reason you don't understand the mini backpack thing is because they were literally mini backpacks, and they were like the cool rage that only the girls carried them, though. Guys didn't carry them, but they were like little
Joseph
backpacks,
probably did.
Johan.
and they used
Johan.
as purses. They were a trend, and so like,
What's up with you and that
written,
shit? What's
you
up with
can tell me if you're surprised or not, okay? Because I took out, there was an Illusions or TV show that you may or may not be familiar with too, from the same time period. It was written on May 17th, 1998.
What was the show?
Dawson's Creek.
Oh yeah.
I know it's probably reruns now, but I didn't know if that was something you know, so I just left it out. So, interesting then, right, that for the most part, it's accurate, even though that was about a lifetime ago for most of you, right? When were you born? Yeah.
99.
So it's still accurate, right?
Mhm.
Did you want a mini backpack?
What?
Did you want a mini backpack?
No, I was gonna
So no, yes.
My sister did though.
Wait, how old are you? You don't?
It's okay.
Oh, that's right.
Shit.
That's
YouTube.
How young are you? You told us.
It's too late now. Huh?
29. You told us.
No.
You gotta
Okay.
I say early 20s.
Yeah, she's like 20.
I say early 20s.
Don't worry about it, man.